It's going to make you famous. It'll make you well known.
Infamous.
Infamous.
All right, Superman.
You're going to be infamous. All right, here we go. And we just started. So it takes a second for. So welcome to everyone who is joining us today on the Rabbi Interviews. We have a really interesting group of people because our food festival is coming up. The Shalom Yal Food Festival is coming up on Sunday and Monday. And obviously, as we would say on Passover, why is this food festival different from all other food festivals? Well, the obvious reason is because we have it virtually and you're going to be picking up the food. So we have today on the podcast, Lori Taylor and Mark Friedman, and I think Jennifer Rich is going to join us in a little bit, and they're going to explain exactly what's going on with this year's Foods Fest, how it's working, what was the impetus, what we're selling, what's different, what was fun, what's unique, and then anybody who comes on the Zoom show with us will be invited to ask questions. So first, let me go with Lori. Lori, welcome. How are you feeling?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
I'm doing great. And Mark Friedman, how are you doing? How are you feeling?
2 thumbs up.
Fine. So for those of you who don't know, Lori and Mark, and of course Jennifer and another Mark have really taken the lead Food Fest this many years. And so Lori, what was the impetus to go ahead and still have it, even though we knew we couldn't have the full one?
The thought process behind it was we didn't really want to lose the momentum of 31 years of the Jewish Food Festival. And so we wanted to keep the idea of it alive as much as we could in 2020 during the pandemic. We also, because it's our biggest fundraiser, wanted to see if we could bring some sponsors that had previously supported us before in as sponsors again. So the twofold hope was to have this community event be out there for the community and the congregation and to raise the money. The office, Jennifer leading the charge, has done a tremendous job taking over the majority of responsibility of the work that is usually done by volunteers because we couldn't have volunteers in the temple and doing a bunch of things. So they took that on. Sponsors has been called by a group of people and the board is calling the congregation. And so far we have gotten a good amount of sponsorship already. A wonderful show is being created. Jason Rich is putting that together for us. And Carol Greenberg, there she is, has secured a lot of our wonderful entertainment from festivals past that have decided to join us virtually. So we're putting a show of previous festivals, some cooking demonstrations and entertainment. And then we limited the food items to 5 items, which are kugel, stuffed cabbage, knishes, honey cakes, and chicken soup with matzo balls, which gives something for everybody, though it's not everything, but of enough of variety to say, I want to come back and get the real food again this year while you can do it to go. And then in future years, hopefully we'll be doing it the way we did in Monterey Square.
Perfect. And while we're on at the very beginning here, would you go over the specifics of times and what's what and what you need to do before we continue on with the show?
Sure. The actual show itself is now November 1st, will be the live broadcast of the virtual show. That'll be at 7 p.m. on Mikveh Israel's YouTube channel. We changed the date so that we wouldn't have conflicts with the film festival. So there's no excuse not to watch us. Make it your favorite film of the year. And then we will have the food pickup is Sunday. You can see it on the screen. November 1st from 10 to 5 and Monday from 10 to 5 at the temple. You must have pre-ordered your food either online or calling the office, and it must be pre-ordered and prepaid to be picked up on those occasions. So you can't just decide you want some extra stuff. You got to pick out what you want ahead of time.
Perfect. And I think that's a great way to really bring the Food Fest, which has been such a major event in our community, to life, understanding the considerations we have to make and the compromises. Mark, you've been in the Food Fest business for many years. What have you enjoyed most about the Food Fest throughout? How long have you been participating? Maybe the entire time?
The entire time. There were a couple of years where I was out of town, and Alec actually took over that position for latkes. Um, but we've been doing it since the beginning. Charlie, Jan, the Coles. I mean, I can just go on and on about the people who started the Food Fest, and we didn't take it over. We inherited it, and it's a fantastic event. And what do I like most about it is the camaraderie. It's just
Working with me.
Yeah.
and you, only you. So it's the whole thing has been fantastic, and we've been very fortunate for the weather every single year. We've been extremely fortunate. There's been a couple of times where we had a couple of little things happen, but other than that, the Food Fest has been just an amazing production, and as you would say, Rabbi, a mitzvot for our congregation.
Yeah, and I think and you make a good analysis there that it's not only a moneymaker, which it is, and this year will be more of a moneymaker in terms of the focus, but it's also, community events. Many people in this community know Mikveh Israel from this food festival. And I'll just put on the sidebar, and, my mom has died a long time ago in my hometown. Most of the people who made the latkes growing up that were so good have died. So I can say this honestly without repercussions in this world, that your latkes are the best I've ever had. Holy cow. And usually you don't make that. Usually the best of something doesn't come from mass making. I mean, usually it's like when somebody's making 20, not when they're making several hundred. They're always perfect. They're always exactly, it's like almost, it looks like it's almost manufactured. They're so perfect, but yet they're homemade. So absolutely amazing.
I'm going to plug. Brenda Sinoff has been amazing in the last couple of years. Lori, and when we took it over, and when we were chairing it, Brenda stepped in, took over the job as the Latke booth chair, albeit she had all the information there to be able to do it. We had built it pretty well, and my brother Alec came in, and we have Charles Harris, and we have Edwin Bick, and people that have been working the booth for absolutely years and years.
And their children too.
Say again?
And your children too.
And absolutely, my son Harris came in and cooked a little bit, although he doesn't like it as much as my son Jake did. But Charles Harris's sons came in and helped out. So it really is a family affair all the way through and through. Brenda's child has come through and worked it. We have to be careful because it's very hot oil, but we take every precaution to keep it safe and to keep it fun, and the kids love it. And that's, our way of kind of leaving our legacy. But Brenda's been amazing in the last several years. But Rob, I thank you for the compliment, because we do love making them. It's a lot of fun.
So good. And I'm told also they're completely healthy. They appear to be fried and taste like they're fried, but they're not.
They are
baked. They're baked. And I see Carol is on as well. I don't know if Carol, if you're up for answering any questions. You're on mute, but if you are, and
I'm happy to answer any questions, Rabbi.
Okay, you're not going to answer any questions?
No, I'm happy to.
So, Carol, would you just give us a little bit about who's going to be entertaining us this year?
Okay, so this year was a little bit of a challenge because, of course, we're not live. And I don't know why we haven't, but in the past, we haven't actually filmed any of our performers. So I put out a call to anybody who has performed in the last 5 years, including members of our chauffeur brigade, which is the blowing of the ram's horn before and after to signify the beginning and the end of the festival. And I was overwhelmed by people wanting to participate. And so I don't know who actually is going to make the final cut, but I know Bill Averbach, who used to do North Carolina klezmer, who is now, it has the Texas klezmerine. I believe he sent materials in. The Savannah Voice Festival, they created a video just for us to use, which will be a lot of fun because Maria Zubis is really wonderful with her ability to figure out how to use this technology for the benefit of her singers. We have I believe we have everything from homegrown people, like Sadie Foreman playing her ukulele, and I believe we also have Maxine Patterson. Our dancers are going to perform for us again, and what we've done is they are in a bubble because they dance together on a weekly basis, and they will be filmed in advance. And then, of course, all of these will be shown as clips between the cooking demonstrations and other events. What we are going to do, which is kind of really exciting for me, is that everybody was at, oh my goodness, the Savannah Phil. How did I forget them? We have members of your Savannah Philharmonic who every year since they have been a thing have been part of our community celebration, and they are going to be doing an absolutely wonderful bit of music, and they are doing it specifically for us, and so we're very excited to have the Savannah Phil again performing. But they all have turned in their pieces, and we asked for up to 20 minutes of music or entertainment, and then it's being edited in as part of what we're showing. But the additional footage will be available. There'll be links to take you to the Mikveh Israel site as well as the individual artist site. So you'll have an opportunity to get longer versions of the short version that we're able to play. So I'm very, very excited about it. And for those of you who are part of our chauffeur brigade, Mark, I believe that includes you. We're going to be doing our final video taping tomorrow at 2:30 at Mikveh Israel, anywhere between 2:30 and 3. And what's interesting is about the shofar blowing is because of COVID, you cannot blow it the way we have been. We blow it out and away from other people. And so it's totally socially distanced and safe. And so I'm really looking forward to this year's entertainment. And I think even when we go back to Monterey Square, we should really offer these kinds of concerts so people can bring a little touch of the ethnic festival back home with them.
Yeah, it's amazing that, we never really filmed anything here. And now, of course, we're filming everything. And we're very fortunate that Jason, who is so skilled at editing, is and so patient with, say, rabbis who take 25 takes for a high holiday sermon. I don't know who that would be. So really incredible that we have all of this coming together, and that you decided, Lori, that you decided, and Mark and Jennifer, not just to get out the food, but to really, centralize the entertainment and even, give more. What about these cooking demonstrations, Lori? What does that mean exactly?
Jennifer is taking the lead on that. And I know that Maria, like Carol said, from the Voice Festival, has put together a cooking demonstration as part of her entertainment. There are a couple different people being filmed socially distanced and safely to show some demonstrations. So I'm not sure exactly who's doing what at this point, because realize this was all put together in the span of about 3 weeks, coming off of a very gruesome holiday schedule of filming. The services were great, but the scheduling was just, very demanding. And you know that. And
I have no idea what you're talking about. And you know what? I like staying up till 5 o'clock in the morning. That's fine.
Well, if you don't go to sleep, you don't have to worry about
That's
it.
right.
Just stay up. But, so, the filming of this had to wait, obviously, because the holidays took priority. So we didn't really have the time from when the idea was created at the end of June, July-ish, to put it together. It was just an idea until after the holidays were done. And then all of a sudden we went into, Food Fest massive mode. But I want to address one thing you said about the fact that, people couldn't see things from your hometown and all over. One of the very interesting things about this year is we not only can share the Food Fest with the community in Savannah and people who visit Savannah, but now the Food Fest can be shared, all over the world. And we can really showcase us this year for what we do as a community. And, you know, hopefully even people will like the show and consider sponsoring also to help this event. But it's not limited to those that are here. And because we haven't filmed before, like Carol mentioned, you know, this may be something that becomes part of future events as an addition, hopefully not instead of. But it's a great thing to showcase us all over the place.
And that's a great point, because it's even this little preemptive thing is going to be on YouTube, and everything we do for the concert will end up on our YouTube page, connected to, of course, our website. And some of them, as Carol said, of the entertainers will probably use the professionally filmed final product on their own webpage. So it's a great way, again, to show what we do, even though, again, we've had a lot of volunteers volunteering, Lori, but what have they been doing exactly? Because it's a little different than usual.
Lori, before you start talking about that, can I mention one more thing about the entertainment that really tags on to what you were saying, is that one of the things that we have done since 2004 is we have applied on an annual basis to be part of an international movement of musicians and entertainers during the month of October. And it's been called Daniel Pearl Harmony Days. And the entertainment often has been not just homegrown, but like I said, from people from all over the world have come to participate in our entertainment. And we in kind have advertised this event as a concert in the park for Pearl as part of the Harmony Days. The purpose of the Harmony Days is that worldwide people recognize that there's such strife, and that it's an opportunity during periods of music to go ahead and be part of something bigger than themselves. So we have been accepted by the Pearl Foundation. And again, our mitzvah of producing music is not just to delight people at the festival, but also the opportunity for people to be part of this international month of peace and harmony and music, and hopefully something we can achieve. Okay, I'm sorry, Lori, your turn.
That's fine. Okay, now Rabbi, repeat the question again.
I think what have volunteers been doing at this point? I mean, usually we've got like 250 plus volunteers, and we've had to really scale that down.
Well, because you're absolutely right. We had to really be careful, because we are representing the temple, to make sure we are representing a responsible, socially distancing, COVID-free environment. So unfortunately, volunteers have not been able to do the massive work that they have done in the past. I'm sure all of them are very, very upset about that part. But what they can do, and what people have been doing, is sponsoring and buying food and participating, and hopefully thanking all the office staff, which has done a tremendous amount of work that they usually don't have to do, because those things are done by volunteers. So that's what you can do, is you can watch the show, you can spread the word, you can become a sponsor, you can ask somebody to sponsor, you can buy merchandise. There's another tag on the Food Fest thing where you can buy a t-shirt like I'm wearing, or you can buy aprons, you can buy cookbooks, you can buy all kinds of Shalom Y'all merchandise. And you know, you can buy it now and use it for Hanukkah presents and encourage other people to do so. But that's what the volunteers can do, is really support the event and promote the fundraising part of it.
And we're also going back to that, you know, we're trying to go into the modern world a little bit later than some, but before others. But we're putting now all of the items we have on sale, especially the bigger items for Hanukkah. We're, you know, putting the pictures on the website, and you can buy it from the website. And
Exactly.
So we're trying to, like everybody else, find ways to be a little bit more connected virtually, which is something we didn't do very much of. So that's I think very interesting to see them do that.
And I think the Food Fest, because the items for the Food Fest are a lot less than, let's say, Hanukkah coming up, this was a good test and a good learning experience of how to do it very quickly with a limited number of items. And so then it can be expanded after the food fest is done, they're going to be going into selling merchandise, like you mentioned, on Hanukkah Mode. The Sisterhood might even become part of that because they couldn't do the baubles booth. So they were looking at how they can be part of that adventure too. And so just visit the website because everything's going to be new again, and other things will be on there. So it's not going to be the same old website that you've watched for years and years, because you'll be able to interact and buy things.
And Mark, I'm sorry, Rena, let's go to questions. Thank you, Rena. You're on mute, by the way.
I am.
We'll go to Rena's going to question Mark, and then I'll come to you. Rena, do
Okay.
you have a question? I just saw she had a question.
She's got to unmute. Rena, do you know how to unmute yourself? No?
We'll come back to you. We'll go to Mark, and we'll come back to you right afterwards. So Mark, what have you been enjoying through the years from the food festival? And what are you looking forward to in the future ones as well?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. Oh. Will you repeat the question?
What are you looking forward to this food festival and in the future ones as well? We talked a little bit about, family joining the food festival years ago, but what do you like about it now and in the future?
Well, it's a little hard. That's a great question. I'm going to tell you what I'm looking forward to in the future, rather than, and I'm going to come back to what about this one. Obviously, this one is unprecedented. We've heard that word a number of times politically from our friends, from lots of different things. So in the future, what I'm looking forward to is coming back to Monterey Square and having everybody there so that we can touch each other and hug each other and blow shofar together and not have to be filmed, and being able to do some of this. Of course, I can hope and hopefully things will be good in the future. And coming back to this one, what I'm looking forward to is seeing some of the different booths and how they handle their presentations. And unfortunately, we would have loved to have done the Latka booth, but I didn't give myself enough time to be able to get there. But maybe in the future, we might be able to film that when I do have some time to do it, so that we can teach people how to do it. Although we're going to keep our secret mix a secret because we can. We'd love to do a presentation for that. So, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody online, and hopefully I'll be able to kind of, it'll be fun to kind of see the booths present themselves and have fun with it.
Thanks. And I think it'll be, we can watch at 7 o'clock, see all the stuff going on. And I think we've done everything else virtually. So if you ever want to see anything that we do with the food festival or anything else, you also got that YouTube site that we started a few months ago. That's really
well, it might be a possibility to, after the food fest is done, is if Jason is the whiz that he is and the wonderful whiz he was for Yom Kippur, maybe he can weave the Latka booth into the virtual food fest down the road, so that if anybody does want to watch it, we could kind of float that in there. But I'm not saying that we need to. It would be nice to do that.
I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And Rena, do you have a question? Sorry about that.
First of all, I want to thank everyone, Lori, Mark, Carol, Jennifer. I mean, you guys are amazing. I really, the gratitude is unbelievable. I'm sure from everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're wonderful. You're very wonderful.
But here's the thing, Rini, it takes people like you and volunteers to make this thing work. So we're not the wonderful ones. It really does take you and the rabbi and Carol and everybody that participates in this thing. It truly is. I'm going to say it again. It truly is an event for our congregation to give to our community. And, it's nothing without y'all. It really is.
I know, but I personally just want to thank you. And I do volunteer. And this year I won't be getting all those sweets that I don't need from the sweet booth that I could do without. I just had a question, Lori. What is the site for ordering like T-shirts and things?
The same site from the temple website you can go to the Jewish Food Festival portion, and there's a different button. So you've got the food
Okay.
button, and then there's a merchandise button, and then there's a sponsor button. And so
Okay,
you can click on all of those. And I appreciate that question because that's a really great question.
yeah,
And
because
I went on this morning and I ordered my knishes, and it was very easy to use. Even I could figure it out.
There's Jennifer.
Hi, everybody. I was just gonna say, you can just go, thanks Lori and Mark. I was just gonna say, you can just go to our homepage, mikvahisrael.org. And if you scroll down, you'll see there's the Food Fest link and the gift shop. So they both go to the same place, and that's where you can buy t-shirts and your food. And if you want to do Friends of the Festival sponsorship, all that is there.
okay, wonderful. The wonderful Jennifer, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And the chicken soup is coming along very nicely.
Oh, okay.
All right. Thanks, Lori.
Well, thanks, Jen.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, Lori. I mean, bye.
That's Jennifer.
Lori's still here.
I'm
But
still here.
before we conclude, I want to make sure everybody has a chance to ask. If anybody else has another question, Larry or Jane, I think that's Jeff and Flossie. Anybody else? If not, we wanted to make this a little shorter because we're going to put this on our website and our YouTube so people can see. But again, Flossie.
I just want to say, Jane and I for years have made about 125 matzo balls.
Mm.
So we want to say, we're sorry we can't help you this.
Only 125?
You can buy some.
127.
It's a small kitchen.
Small kitchen. But we said, are we being fired or for the reason that I'm teasing you, but we were glad to help in the past and thank you for who's making it this year.
Well, buy the chicken soup and enjoy somebody else's matzo balls this year. Take a break.
There you go.
There you go.
Amen. And they're going to be just as delicious, but not as delicious as Flossie's. I will say that.
That's absolutely
I
true.
wouldn't go that far.
Well, thank you to everyone.
Thank you.
Again, we're going to put
Thank
this
you, Rabbi.
on Facebook and also on, of course, Zoom. I'm going to put up one more time. The date, again, November 1st, 7 p.m. is the program, and you can pick up your food November 1st or November 2nd, but you got to call or email, sorry, not call or go online ahead of time. So again, you can order either way. You can go call online, call or go online. And the menu, I believe, is right here.
Yep.
So if you want the menu, there it is: stuffed cabbage, chicken matzo ball soup, sweet noodle kugel, Coney Island style large potato knish, and a honey cake. All of them are delicious. That is a money back guarantee, although not really.
The rabbi is funding the money back guarantee, by the way.
And the money back guarantee is coming right out of my salary.
There you go.
And it's our
thank you.
32nd year of providing a great time for Savannah and everyone else.
And it is 32nd year. We've been named the best festival in Savannah several times, and it's mostly due to all of the volunteers. So here's to enjoying this year's festival. It's going to be amazing.
We'll
And
probably
next
be the
year's
best this year, too.
Yeah, and what?
We may be the best or
We
only
may
one
be the
this
best
year.
and only.
Yeah,
That's a
hopefully
good
next
point.
year.
That's a good point. We should definitely win for this year.
That's absolutely true.
Lori, call
Yes.
me after this is done. I've got the sponsor. Okay.
Well, thank you, everybody. And this will
Thank
end our
you.
show. Next week, we'll be interviewing Curtis Purdy, who is an alderman, and we'll be talking with him on Election Day. And I hope everybody can join us for that. So again, stay safe. And don't forget, you need to order your Food Fest food in the next couple of days because there's a good chance everything is going to sell out. So
Rabbi.
see you guys later.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Rabbi, we need a
Thank
little
you,
blessing.
Rabbi.
We haven't had one live in a long time.
May you a blessing. May God grant us. You know what? This year of all years, God has been so good to us. God, if you wanted to rain 1 year on Food Festival, please make this the only year it rains on Food Festival. Amen.
Perfect.
That would be ironic.
Yes.
Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you,
Shalom,
Lori.
Rabbi.
everyone. Stay safe.
Rabbi.
Shalom, y'all.
Thanks, Carol.
Shalom, y'all.
Everybody say goodbye. Everybody's on gallery view. We'll see you later.